Okay. So, nervous system is the chakra system. When people have a dysregulated nervous system, they have blocked energy in their centers. Now, a lot of people, when they think about the chakras, they think it's some woo woo. They think, it involves some sort of crystals or something like that, placing crystals at a certain energy center or even meditating, on each energy center. But the truth of the matter is the whole Kundalini awakening process, the whole, chakra alignment process, it doesn't necessarily happen just through meditation. And the quite honest truth is if you do awaken the kundalini just through meditation rather than having it a longer process, a more sustained process, then you're sort of forcing the awakening process as a whole. And if you're operating in ego consciousness, or if you're operating in this place of survival, it's not going to end up being good. And so you might have seen, certain people, for example, that have had a lot of energy and stuff, like they meditate and then their energy just goes crazy. um you know that certainly does happen, but this it's not necessarily a proper way to awaken sort of the kundalini. And so in this lesson, I'm going to be sharing with you the natural process of aligning each and every chakra. And now, within each and every chakra, there's contained a specific power that you guys, is either dormant or is misdirected. And these are powers of the creator. These are powers of God. God actually flows through your vessel. God creates it all. And so if you have blocked energy, if you have a misalignment within your vessel, then the power of God is not going to be able to create and really flow through you. And as we know here, manifestation is creation. That's really what manifestation is. Everything is a physical manifestation of God. Everything is an expression of source. You are an expression of source. Everything, everyone, there is only source, right? And so for as long as we are disconnected from source, we are disconnected from God. And for as long as the powers of God remain dormant within us, well, we're not really going to be able to create our realities. Um, so this is going to be, really interesting, because the truth is you can learn about regulating the nervous system all you want, but this is really going to provide everyone with a completely different perspective on what regulating the nervous system actually means. And look, if we have a dysregulated nervous system, which means we're in that constant fight or flight state, we have constant anxiety, we feel constant pressure, like this, like someone is like, we're just constantly operating so fixated on this 3D realm. Um, when we're operating from that place, it doesn't end up being the best. We tend to react unconsciously. And when we react unconsciously, we recreate the same reality. We make unconscious choices because we don't really know what we're doing. We're thinking too much about the past, about the future. We're not here right now. So I'm going to get started in this lesson. It's going to be amazing. And by the end of it, really what's going to happen is you're going to allow the powers of God to flow through you. And you're going to be able to create and manifest what you want with much greater ease. I'm certain of that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just confirming everyone can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started. All right, I want you to take a look at this. This is a visual representation of the chakra system. Now, as you can see, everything is connected in this spine right here. Everything. And as you can see, your nervous system, you have bundles of mass energy over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, right? And so what you need to understand is this is really what your nervous system is, right? Now, the nervous system is so vast. And also what I do want to mention is the chakra system is so vast that really what we're going to be honing in on in this lesson is creation, the aspect of how we can really regulate our nervous system with greater ease, how we can realign our chakras and activate the powers that are either misdirected or dormant within us, right? However, I just need you to look at this visual representation of what this chakra system actually is. So it's bundles of nerves that are tied together that are placed. The root chakra is at the lower base of the spine. This right here is your presence power. This right here is your connection, essentially, to body, your connection to this earth. Okay. The sacral chakra, which is at the lower abdomen, this right here is your desire power. It's what allows you to be motivated. It's what allows you to be driven. Okay. Right above that, at the solar plexus, at the upper abdomen, we have what we call willpower, okay? Your ability to actually take action, your ability to focus, your ability to concentrate for a prolonged period of time and actually remain consistent. Now, if this is scary, oh my God, Dave is going to make me work and blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Working is really creating, right? Now, here's the thing. I stay focused for like 10, 12 hours per day, like regularly. Now that I have my daughter, I love spending time with her, but like the spiritual power, when you unlock this power that I'm going to be sharing with you today, you're not going to work hard ever. Like there's a greater power that flows through you that allows you to concentrate for a prolonged period of time, that allows you to quote unquote work hard. Hard work is really an illusion, right? What makes work hard is really us not liking what we're doing. That's number one. So people aren't necessarily afraid of hard work. People are more so afraid of working on stuff they don't like, because that's what makes something really hard. And again, we're really gonna come back to all of that. But in the heart center, because everything boils down to the solar plexus, this is where the ego actually resides, and this is where the action taking process actually takes place. And now this solar plexus right here, it can either be directed and controlled by these lower two chakras, which if they're imbalanced, we're always going to stay in a place of fight or flight, or it can be directed and controlled by something greater, a higher power, when we actually activate these powers right here, these chakras, and when we're able to balance them. So again, right above the solar plexus, we have the heart chakra. The heart chakra is where your emotive power lies. That's where the realm of emotion is, right? That's where actually your soul resides. And so when you start taking action from this place, when you start actually unlocking your soul, which for the most part is dormant in like 98% of humanity, your purpose here on earth, and really listen closely, is to open your heart. Your purpose here on earth is to open your heart. And opening your heart, it's not necessarily just reaching a place of unconditional love. Of course, reach a place of unconditional love. But really, what this means is radical self acceptance, radical embodiment, and being able to just love yourself unconditionally. Do what you truly desire to do. Be who you truly desire to be without judgment, accepting yourself unconditionally. You see, because we grow older, right? And this is emotive power, right? This is the place where you're able to truly embody who you desire to be. When your heart is blocked, you're not going to be able to embody who you desire to be. You can't, because you don't accept yourself for who you desire to be. Because as you grow older, when you were a child, maybe someone didn't accept you. Maybe someone rejected you. Maybe someone abandoned you. Someone who really loved you abandoned you. Maybe someone said, no, this isn't who you are. This is who you are, right? You got indoctrinated into certain belief systems. You weren't accepted for being who you truly were. And when you started expressing your light, when you started expressing your soul, when you started creating reality, when you started being powerful, maybe the people around you were like, whoa, relax, slow down. This isn't who you are. No, no, no. People projected their limitations upon you, and it closed your heart. It didn't allow you to embody who you truly are. And again, by the end of this lesson, I think all of that is really going to change. But for the most part, the reason why so many people are stuck in survival is because everyone is inauthentic. Everyone is operating from the realm of ego. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it, because I have a baby daughter right now. She's 7 months old yesterday, right? And she's learning right now. She's over here. She's operating in these three. She hasn't really opened the heart yet, right? Just because it's not that time. But she's just doing whatever she wants to do. And I know that when she's 1, 2 years old, she's going to be like, Daddy, I want to be this. I want to do this. I'm going to say, yes, you are that. Yes, you are that. Yes, you are that. It's going to allow her heart to open up even more, right? She's going to be like, I can be and do whatever the fuck I want. Wow, what an amazing life. All possibilities exist within me, and I am that. But of course, not everyone was sort of raised that way, right? Again, heart, emotive power. It's your ability to feel and embody. Next, above that, we have the throat chakra. This is faith power. This unlocks your ability to speak, to express with conviction, with certainty, with clarity, with presence. It allows you to detach, it allows you to let go. It allows you to create whatever you want to create unconditionally. And then above that, we have the third eye. This is thought power. And I'm not talking about overthinking. I'm not talking about negative thought. I'm talking about a higher mind that is really unlocked when you stop thinking. And the paradox is the moment that you stop thinking is the moment that the higher mind actually takes over. And as you can see, this right here, the third eye, is connected with the crown, right? And so you get this guidance, you get this guidance from God, and it comes right through you when you stop thinking, when you just let go, and when you let God. And the crown chakra, right, this, you could consider this crown chakra the super conscious state. So uh, this is thought power, and this is super conscious power. And when you're here, you transcend space and time. When you're here, you're in a greater flow. It's not even you, it's God. It's not even you anymore who's creating anything in your life. It's God. And this is what it truly means to let go and let God. So I wanted to give you guys a visual representation of that. And then the third eye is located right here. And then the crown is right above you. All right. At the top of your head. The creator flows through you right here because the creator is everything. The creator is in you. It's all outside of you. It's everything, everywhere, all at once now. That's really what the creator is, because this right here, what is outside of you? What is it? Anyone know? It's a unified field of infinite potential and infinite possibility. It's pure unconditioned consciousness. It's the same essence as you are, as within, so without. There's no difference. There's no separation between the without and the within. It's all one, right? So now we're going to talk about why your chakras are blocking your manifestation. So, what are the chakras? These 7 chakras serve as the primary channels for consciousness and energy to flow through your physical vessel, through your energetic body. Each chakra governs different aspects of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual existence. Understanding the chakra system allows you to see how the powers of the creator, how the powers of the almighty I am, or spirit, or whatever you want to call it. You can call it Jesus Christ. You could call it Christ consciousness. You can call it impersonal energy. You can call it just frequency. Whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter, right? There's a higher power. There is a creator, and you are one with that creator. And aligning your chakras allows you to allow this creator to flow through you. And so this is what allows the creator to be expressed through your being. And we're going to start with the root chakra. So the root chakra is presence power. What is presence power? This is, simply put, conscious awareness. It's attention. It's what you are. It's life force. It's energy. All of your energy is located right here. All of your attention is located right here. It's our ability to be present. When we're stuck thinking, just constantly overthinking, we're not present. Are we actually the ones even thinking those thoughts? No. For the most part, thoughts just come to us. And for the most part, a lot of people struggle actually being present for a prolonged period of time. When this chakra is imbalanced, people are overreactive. They're very defensive and they are closed minded because they're identified with their mind. They're solely identified with the ego. They're identified with certain belief systems that essentially is what the ego has latched onto, right? And they're going to do everything in their power to defend these belief systems because this belief systems equals their life. Without the beliefs that they have embodied, that they have attached themselves to, they feel like they're dying. It's the greatest addiction that people have, the addiction to their own beliefs. People are unable to let go of their beliefs because they think that's them. You're not your beliefs. Overthinking, operating in survival mode. People who have an imbalanced root chakra, they're constantly in their mind. They're constantly attacking. They're constantly defending, not just other people, not just their own beliefs, not just what's right and what's wrong, not just trying to have the sense of righteousness, right? That they're embodying, the sense of pride that makes them moral acceptance per se that makes them fit into a specific group. No, no, no. The same exact thing is going within their mind. They're attacking and defending their own beliefs. They're attacking, defending their own thoughts. The same thing is happening within them. And so when you see people who are constantly operating in the survival, overreactive, defensive, understand that that's what's happening within their mind too. For the most part, there's constant pressure, there's fear, there's worry, there's craving, there's anger, there's anxiety because we're not here right now. We're constantly either thinking about the past and we're thinking about the future. And we think that the future is going to be the same as the past. And so we're never right here, right now. We say, I'll never do this again in my whole life. And then tomorrow we do it because we're not here right now. That's not how you transform. You don't transform by telling yourself, I'm never going to do this in my entire life. You transform by being present and understanding that never is now. When else is never if it's not now? When is forever if it's not now? The eternal now is eternity. The eternal now is eternity. You don't need to think about the future. You don't need to think about the past because they're all just mental constructs that don't actually exist now. Now is the only thing you should be paying attention to. Take it day by day. Don't say, well, yeah, I'm gonna transform my life and I'm never gonna do this for the rest of my life. The rest of your life is now. Okay. And so when you understand this, when you just ground yourself in the present moment, you're like, wow, there's no more pressure, there's no more fears, worry. A lot of this dissipates. People are at war. They're constantly attacking, defending. I already talked about that. And they're seeking comfort through pleasure because they don't understand that there's a greater power. There's a greater peace that comes from the Creator. There's greater love that comes from the Creator. And look, I'm not going to say never have pleasure in your life. Whatever. I really don't care, right? Smoking is your thing, go smoke. Drinking is your thing, go drink. Being sober, I think, is the best way to go. However, at the end of the day, I'm never going to say never have a cookie for the rest of your life, right? Never had dessert, never. No. Like that's what keeps people stuck thinking that fundamentally there's something wrong with them. Nothing's wrong with you. You don't need to be fixed, okay? And when you understand this, you actually stop seeking comfort through pleasure because you realize I am whole, complete, and fulfilled now. I am perfect. So what do I need any pleasure outside of me? Because at the end of the day, for the most part, if people are using pleasure as a coping mechanism, that's really the problem. But you don't need pleasure as a coping mechanism when you understand that you are whole, complete, and fulfilled. And so whenever you get, let's say you're struggling with addiction, whatever the case may be, just tell yourself, I am whole, complete, and fulfilled now. And then just be present. People are disconnected from the body and their spirit. People are disconnected from just being grounded in this moment, right? And also they're disconnected from a greater power. They're disconnected from the Creator, from spirit, from God. And they're stuck in the past and future. They're not right here, right now. So this is what an imbalanced root chakra looks like. And by the way that this is going to look like is I'm going to give you the power. I'm going to tell you what an imbalanced chakra looks like. And then I'm going to tell you what a balanced chakra looks like. And then I'm going to give you practices for each and every one. This is basically a masterclass I'm just giving you guys for free. So balanced, grounded, calm, relaxed, poised. You have a healthy connection to body and spirit. You have a strong foundation. You have inner stability. You're not overthinking about things. You're grounded in this moment. You're present and mindful in the now. And you just have a deep sense of security and trust because you know that you're not the beliefs that you're embodying right now. You know that there's a higher power that actually takes care of everything for you. And that's where this true security and trust comes from, when you recognize that God is always with you because you are one with that power. God is always with you. Always. There's not one moment where you are left alone. And so this right here allows you to have this deep sense of security and trust. You're no longer in survival mode. Hey, you're alive right now. Let's say you got bills to pay. Let's say that you're late on your bills. All right. You figured it out until now. You always figured it out until now. Whatever's wrong, understand that You've always figured it out. There's always been some sort of miracle that's always occurred that allowed you to figure things out at a much deeper level. And so when you understand I'm always good, I'm always good, then you have this deep sense of security and trust. But being grounded, calm, relaxed, this right here is the key. And this right here is the key to everything else. If we do not practice relaxation, if we do not practice grounding ourselves in the now, if we do not practice just being poised, what does poise mean? It means this sense of calm confidence. It's this calm power. It's the combination of peace and power. If that's not God, I'm not sure what is. It's this conviction that comes from something that's much greater than just what we think, right? And we have, again, a healthy connection to body and spirit. So the practice for this is ultimately just let go of survival, let go of being extreme. I'll always, no, this has to be like this. This has to be like this. People are constantly trying to transform themselves from anger, when the reality of it is maybe there's fear and that fear gets funneled into anger. Maybe there's shame, maybe there's a guilt, and that shame and guilt gets funneled into anger. And that we stay stuck in these repetitive cycles of fear, shame, guilt, anger, craving, this, that. It's that constant state that just keeps us in survival. The true path to transformation is being in harmony with all that is right here, right now. Yeah, take 100% full responsibility, take accountability for what is in your life. Understand that you did create every single thing in your experience. That is what radical acceptance really is. You did create everything in your experience through your perceptions, through your beliefs, through your emotions, through your attention, through your energy, through your attachment to the very thing. You create your experiences, right? And so by understanding this, I'm able to now be like, wow, now I can create something new. But for as long as you're not responsible, you don't take accountability, right? There's always going to be someone else to blame. There's always going to be justification. There's always going to be identification. When we let go of all of that, there's no one to blame. There's no one, not even myself. I'm not blaming myself. See innocence in yourself. We'll get to that. Be in harmony with all that is. Take full responsibility. Practice meditation, relaxation, and mindfulness. Detach from the mind and just observe thoughts without judgment. Always, 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 always reflect on yourself, reflect on your thoughts. What are the thoughts that are popping up in your head? Don't judge them, don't attack them, don't try to fight them, don't try to resist them. Just pay attention to what's happening within you. That's it, without judgment. Just pay attention. Because that way, when you pay attention, you're actually like, wow, this is what's happening within me. When you're constantly trying to fight your own thoughts, you're stuck in the matrix. You're stuck in the same game that you're trying to escape from, because that's not the way that the game is won. Take your attention back from the world and society. Go in solitude. This is very, very important, because for the most part, a lot of people don't know who they actually are. A lot of people's personality has been controlled by other people. And this is what it truly means to unlock your soul, because if we don't unlock our soul, if we don't know who we are, if we have legitimately broken ourselves to fit into a society of other fragmented egos, then crap. The only way that you're really going to be able to know yourself, know what you truly desire to create in your life, know who you are, get these massive ideas, and get inner guidance is if you withdraw from the world. This means people. This means places, environments that don't serve you. This means your phone, constantly being on the phone. It's like we're always being indoctrinated into some sort of belief system here. We're always being controlled by certain emotions, right? Every scroll is a different emotion. Every scroll is a different emotion. But when we experience solitude and just be, like give ourselves time to be, then we take that emotion, that energy that is constantly being stolen from us like a parasite, we take that attention back. And when we have our own emotions, when we have our own essentially awareness and attention back, because that's what this is, awareness and attention, life force, your energy, now you're actually able to create whatever you want to create with ease. Like you're not going to be in fight or flight. Like You're able to just be in solitude and be like, wow, I'm in harmony with all that is, right? Let go of attacking, defending, proving, and convincing. Withdraw from pleasure and instant gratification. Establish a consistent, healthy routine just so you could get your circadian rhythm, back in track, right? When you go to sleep at the same time. And when you wake up at the same time. Now, my wife and I have sort of been struggling because we have a 7-month-old daughter and we haven't been getting the best sleep. Now, for the most part, my wife handles a lot of the night shift. However, I still toss and turn, she's crying like here and there. But no matter what, that's the best time to meditate. That's the best time to actually continue being healthy because there's two options, right? Like when you're struggling, or say you don't get sleep, or say, you're constantly being fed dopamine, or you're in this constant state of fight or flight of this where your root chakra is imbalanced. You have two options. You can go get pleasure, comfort, safety, familiarity, right? The thing that makes you just forget, the thing that makes you relax from outside of you, or you can go to God. And you can connect yourself deeper with God and God's presence and feel that love, peace, and joy really permeate your being. And I promise you that's the best way. And be healthy, right? Take care of your body instead of neglecting your body, so on and so forth. So this is very important for the root chakra. Physical movement, exercise, breath work. The thing is, when we have all of this energy that is contained within us, right? The best way to get rid of energy is like a lot of people, they struggle meditating because they're like, I'm just constantly thinking, which by the way is the point of meditation. The point is to realize how much you think without wanting to think. The point of meditation is to be aware of all of those thoughts that are in control of you, essentially. And every single time you are aware of that thought, you bring your attention back to your breath, you bring your attention back to the present moment, and you just breathe. And then it happens again. And then you bring your attention back again. And then every single time it's a win, 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 win. And as you continue doing that, you're going to realize that those thoughts sort of disappear. Like you're going to be able to actually be in control of your attention, your energy, your life force. But another thing that really helps is physical movement and exercise and also breath work, because now you're allowing all of this energy, right, that is stored within your mind. It's all in your mind from overconsumption, whatever the case may be. And movement gets rid of that energy. It makes that energy go from up here down to the body where you just express it out. And try meditating after a workout, after a jog, and you're going to see that your mind is much more quiet because you've already took a lot of that energy and you've sort of created with it. You've created experiences. Connect with nature and just ground yourself, right? Go outside, look at the trees, look at the leaves, look at the stars. See the interconnectedness of all things. When you look at the leaves, you're going to see that it resembles the veins in your arms. You're going to see that you're really connected with the trees. When you look up at the stars, you're like, wow, look how infinite, grand everything is. The universe is continually expanding, growing, and evolving. Be interested in certain things. Be like, wow, holy shit. I literally exist on a floating rock. Holy shit. Pretty crazy if you ask me, right? Be interested. Be like, wow. Be in awe of nature. This is what I call connecting yourself and grounding yourself. Prioritize mental and physical health and well-being. And this is also another thing. Just prioritize your health. When you prioritize your health, your mental and physical health, you are going to balance the root chakra. I'll tell you again, this is the most important chakra that you need to balance, because this essentially, without this, everything is going to be fight or flight. Everything is going to be fight or flight. Moving forward, we have the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is desire power. This is inspiration. This is drive. This is motivation. When people have an imbalanced sacral chakra, they overindulge and they overconsume, okay? Because their desire power is being directed toward things that's not creation. It's consumption rather than production. And I'm not saying work 80 hours a week for the rest of your life, right? What I'm saying here is if you are overindulging and over consuming, you're not going to be inspired. You're not going to have any drive. You're not going to have any motivation. It's not that you're lazy. It's that your desire power is being misdirected, or your desire power is not activated. Because a lot of people, right, in the manifestation space and also in the spiritual space, a lot of gurus will tell you that desire is bad, but it's not desire that is bad. Without desire, you wouldn't get up in the morning. Without desire, you wouldn't brush your teeth, you wouldn't take a shower. Without desire, you wouldn't feel any emotions, you wouldn't care about your friends, you wouldn't care about your family. Without desire, you wouldn't care about anything. Desire allows you to just live. Without desire, there is no will to live. And the next chakra we have is willpower. Without desire power, there is no will to live. Desire is the very reason you're alive right now. If God didn't desire to create what God created, we wouldn't exist. And so you are created in the image and likeness of God to create in the image and likeness of God. And the way that you do this is by unlocking this desire power that is contained within you. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. Going on D&D. I don't know if you guys heard that. It was my phone. Anyways, here, right? We all have a lack of inspiration. We have a lack of desire to create. We don't want to actually move forward toward anything. We don't want to think constructively. We don't want that. We just want to stay where we are in the realm of familiarity, in the realm of safety, in the realm of what is really just false safety, false security, right? We're chasing pleasure. We're chasing fleeting emotions because those emotions, they really do come and go. They really do come and go, right? It's like, sure, like scrolling, it's great for a while. And then you realize that after you sort of feel like crap. Sure, eating a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's is great until after you realize you feel like crap. Sure, smoking, drinking, whatever, sure, may feel great until you wake up in the morning, you're like, shit, I feel like crap. All of these things, right? It's fleeting emotions. They're not sustainable. They're not permanent. And what this is all about is having something permanent, having something where you're actually feeling great. Like, and so you don't even need to overindulge or overconsume or anything because you have this inspiration for something greater. You're devoted to something greater. Emotional numbness, lack of interest, and then you're just burnt out, you're tired, and you're restless. And this isn't because you work hard. This is because this desire power is being misdirected. And look, you can be burnt out and tired and restless because of hard work as well. If you don't give your body any time to rejuvenate, if you don't give yourself any time to relax, that relaxation is just important as creation. And trust me, if you don't allow yourself to relax, you are going to be forced to relax. Like your body is going to force you to relax if you don't just allow yourself to relax and rejuvenate with your mind and your body. What does a balanced sacral chakra looks like? It looks like balance, rest, rejuvenation, and creation. You honor, you're devoted to both. You're devoted to both being and doing, right? Understanding that both are one and one is required for the other one to really be unlocked at the maximum potential. Emotional stability, balanced dopamine, right? So there's no fleeting emotions. You're not feeling like shit one day and then you're feeling good the other day and this and that. No, like it's very stable. You wake up every morning and you're inspired, you're driven, you are motivated to create. And also it's not shame or guilt or anger or frustration. Like you're not creating from this place when you have a balanced sacral chakra, when you have balanced desire power, right? You're inspired by something greater than the self, something greater than gratifying the ego. You have a purpose, you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a mission, you have an aim. You're devoted to something greater than yourself. And so, on my story that I posted the other day, I said, devotion is greater than discipline because discipline is really rooted in ego. If we think about it, right? Oh, we're disciplined. And so pride is the ultimate goal for discipline. But devotion, the ultimate goal with devotion is much greater than pride. You're doing something that doesn't involve you at all. You're devoted to God. And so even when you see like a lot of religious people, or a lot of, gurus or yogis or saints or sages, the reason why they're so disciplined is because it's not for them. It's for a much higher power. They have something that is within them. Life isn't theirs. There's something greater within them, right? You're motivated to take action and create intentionally. And then you find love, peace, joy in the act of creating. And so you're not performing the act of creation out of survival to get a specific outcome. No, like you genuinely want to create. Right now, I'm doing this because I want to create. It's why I do everything, because I want to create. And for as long as I continue doing what I want to do because I want to create, my life is freaking great. And your life is going to be great too. For as long, and it doesn't have to be what I do. It has to be whatever you want to do. And don't let anyone tell you what to do, who you are. No, you choose that. You choose that. No one else chooses that. Whatever makes you happy, be and do whatever you want. Practice meditation and self reflection. You're going to find this essentially everywhere, right? Meditation and self reflection. This is key because this is the only way, number one, you step into the observer and actually become aware of the thoughts that are coming up, of certain emotions that are arising. You don't suppress those emotions. You become aware of those emotions. You open the door of the subconscious mind because that is the storehouse of your emotions. And then you see the beliefs that are tied to these certain thoughts and emotions, right? This is what self-reflection is. This is how we self-reflect. This is how we become more aware of who we have created ourselves to be, the level of consciousness that we're currently operating in. And then from that place, we're able to actually direct our attention. We're actually able to create whatever we want to create in our experience. Dopamine and pleasure detox. This is also pretty crucial when it comes up to this, because the thing is, and look, it doesn't have to be extreme. And certain times, by extreme, it's like, okay, get rid of your phone for a day, right? Get rid of your phone for 2 days. I like to take things day by day. I'll never say like, oh, do it for this long. Like it's just day by day. Okay. Take it day by day. Just be present day by day. And it will really help you. Don't think about tomorrow. It's fine to think about tomorrow at the end of your night when you're planning tomorrow. Fine. But that's what the end of the night when you're planning for tomorrow is, that's what it's for, right? You're constantly thinking. If you're in bed thinking about tomorrow, that means you have no idea what's going on tomorrow. When you plan it out the day before, you actually you know what's going on tomorrow. You're aware. That's how you create reality. So planning and rationalizing, right? That has its place, just not throughout the day. Throughout the day, you should be very present. And mindfulness, presence, right? That comes when you get rid of that. Like dopamine detox is really like the entry point into spirituality. Channel desire into inspired action and creation, and focus on one thing. Focus on one thing. Don't channel your desire. Oh, I want to create this. Oh, this. All of these. This is scattered beliefs. Oh, and then you're going to think, well, what if this works, and what if that works, and what if this works? Because when you have scattered beliefs, you're only thinking about outcomes. No, just focus on creating what you want to create in your life. Incorporate mental, physical fasting. Eat whole foods. All right. Because this essentially is tied to the dopamine and pleasure detox. Cultivate more interest in learning, growing, and evolving. Just be interested in your life. Be interested in learning, growing, and evolving, right? Like the books that I have behind me, they're not for show. I promise you. I love reading, right? However, I can tell you one thing. There were times when, because look, I'm not this perfect master, right? I'm not this, oh wow, Dave has all this wisdom. Dave is this master. No, like there were definitely times where I indulged. And during those times where I was operating like the lower three centers, for example, I didn't want to read. I didn't care about learning, growing, expanding, evolving. Like this stuff, reading, writing, journaling, studying specialized knowledge, taking inspired action. This is low dopamine. But if we take a look at the laws of nature, we see that the nature of all things is continuous growth, expansion, evolution, right? Consciousness is continually growing, expanding, and evolving. The universe is continually growing, expanding, and evolving. The trees, the grass, everything is continually growing, expanding, and evolving. And so that is essentially nature. That's the law of nature. And whenever we don't do that, if we're not focused on that, well, the other side of the spectrum is what? Not learning, growing, expanding, and evolving, either staying stagnant. And usually when you stay stagnant, actually sort of going backwards there a little bit, right? But no matter what, read, write, journal, study specialized knowledge, because this unlocks your natural dopamine. This is natural dopamine. You're going to be more proud of yourself. You're going to be able to actually consider your word to be law in your life. And if your word is not law in your life, then who's creating your reality if it's not you? Your word is your law. And so when you start abiding by your own word, whatever you want to create in your life, that's when you actually unlock the abilities of the creator to flow through you. But for as long as we're not doing that, well, we're not doing that, right? So pretty easy, right? The sacral chakra and the root chakra. If these two are imbalanced, as you can see, and we're not really going to be talking about pleasure and dopamine anymore because this is where this place resides. And now, for the most part, humanity is in this place. There, a good amount of them are stuck here, and that's why they're in survival. Because again, it's this pleasure that is, and it's all very normalized. But I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm doing this so I can hopefully you can awaken, and your life can be transformed. If I just told you what you want to hear, well, it's not going to end up being too well, right? And so I really care about you, and I care about transforming your life because I know that I've done it myself. And because I've done it myself, I know that everyone can do it too. Most people, again, they're operating in survival. Their desire power is being misdirected because they're operating in survival. And then their action taking process, which we're about to cover right now, all of that is being misdirected as well because they're operating in survival. And so, willpower. Willpower is focus, direction, and action. When this is imbalanced, you are living unconsciously. So essentially, there's no direction in your life. There's no goal, there's no aim, there's no purpose, there's no vision, there's no nothing. You're just going with the flow of life. Maybe wake up in the morning, whatever, go to the 9 to 5 job, get controlled by your boss, this and that, come home, smoke maybe, drink maybe, indulge maybe, whatever the case may be, right? But essentially it's unconscious living. It's like you're not creating what you intentionally want to create. You're not being who you genuinely desire to be. You're not doing what you genuinely desire to do. And money is a natural byproduct of that, by the way. I'm just letting you guys know. Money is a natural byproduct of being who you desire to be and doing what you desire to do, obviously serving others through that. Because abundance isn't out here, abundance is within you. It's all of your genius, it's all of your talent, it's all of your skills, your abilities, it's all of your experience, it's all of the challenges that you've overcome. This is what abundance is. And when you give that to the world in the same way that I'm giving this to you, abundance naturally flows to you. There's no option because when you give to the universe gives to you. But when you focus on taking from the universe, and that's the only thing that's on your mind, well, the universe is going to take from you. Because whosoever hath, more shall be given. Whoever does not, even what he does have, shall be taken away. This is what abundance means. Whoever has within them will just get more and more and more and more. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. And whatever he does have will be taken from him. We have a scattered mind. We have shiny object syndrome. So even when we do want to start creating something, let's say we want to create a business or we want to scale or we want to figure out a way to get something, right? Ooh, this is the perfect way. No, that's the perfect way. So we go in this one direction, right? And then we're like, you know what? No, I think maybe this other direction is the way. And so we go in this other direction. And then we stay in that direction for about a week. And then we say, well, wow, look at this opportunity. And then we go to that opportunity. So we never remain consistent in one direction. We can't fully focus and fully be able to direct our attention for a prolonged period of time and take action on a thing until completion, like until it's done. Not until you get inspired by a new idea. No, because the reality of it is everything, whenever we're doing this, we have scattered beliefs. So this is also where fear, the anxiety comes from. It comes because we have scattered beliefs. And for as long as we have scattered beliefs, our belief power is being misdirected. Our faith power is being misdirected. So we're unable to actually there's something controlling us, right? There's other things controlling us because we want that sort of way. Shiny object syndrome is this is the easiest way and the quickest way to get what I want. That's sort of what shiny object syndrome is. And then we see all these people who have these grand lives and we get addicted to that and we're like, wow, like that's a possibility. Like, when's the last time you guys have seen me flex? No, I flexed the show that I'm working on last night on my story, which we spent over $1 million on because I don't care to flex stuff. There's no point. That's not what life is about personally, right? And so again, we have a scattered mind, we have scattered beliefs, and we're unable to truly direct our attention and focus our belief in one thing. Whenever we're focused on having things, whenever we're focused on outcomes, right? What happens here is we focus on the number one way to get that outcome. But this is what causes us scared beliefs, because then we start thinking, well, what if this is, and what if that works? But what if it doesn't work? And what if this? And what if this? And what? When? How? Why? We just start thinking because we're thinking about outcomes. We're thinking about having. We're thinking about taking. When we instead understand that having is embodiment. That's what having is. Having is nothing more than a state of consciousness you're looking to embody. You want that car? No, you don't want that car. You want to be the person who's worthy of the car, and you want to be able to drive the car. You want to feel the emotions that come with driving the car, and you want to be able to essentially increase your self-worth to the point where you believe that you're able to drive that car. Same thing goes with the house. Same thing goes with the relationship. Same thing goes with money. Same thing goes with your health. Same thing goes with literally everything. The reason why people don't get what they want is because they're focused on trying to get what they want instead of embodying that state of consciousness, instead of embodying the person who is that, the expression of that, and doing that. Because that's what gets the having. So having is nothing more than an embodied state of consciousness, nothing else. For as long as you're looking to have something out here, you're going to be struggling and you're going to be overthinking. When you focus on embodiment, now you're not focused on outcomes, right? Now you're actually focused on just being, showing up, doing. That's it. The rest is taken care of, because that's how manifestation works. You're stuck strategizing and rationalizing outcomes, procrastination, avoidance, laziness. You're easily influenced. You lack control and consistency, and you take action from survival, which is an imbalanced root in sacral chakra. Now, when this is balanced, you take action from wholeness. You're not chasing anything. You're just expressing that which you already are. You already are whole, fulfilled, and complete. You don't got to chase something you're not. You don't have to become whole, fulfilled, and complete. You are that. So you allow this state of embodiment to naturally be expressed from within you through joy, peace, love, power, creativity, so on and so forth. You flow. And then you're going to be like, whoa, look at this paradox. I'm finally getting everything that I've always wanted. So when you take action from wholeness, you have a balanced lower chakra. So you have a balanced sacral and a balanced root, and you also have a balanced uh, upper chakras. The upper chakras are essentially in control of your action taking. You prioritize constructive growth, expansion, and evolution. You have a single-minded focus. You're acting on one goal until it's completed, and you're focused on embodiment. You're not focused on outcome. And this is how you're able to actually act on one goal until completion, because again, you're focused on the embodiment aspect. You're not focused on anything else. Nothing else matters. The reason why results don't come so quickly is because you're focused on the results. When you just focus on embodiment, you are going to collapse the amount of time and effort it really takes for those results to come. Just fuck the results. Detach from external and focus on embodiment. Consistent, determined, resilient, and self-reliant. And this isn't hard. Oh my God, grind. Like, relax. Self-devotion is what takes that, right? You were devoted to something greater, and that because we're devoted to something greater, that higher power takes care of our discipline for you, for us, right? And then we're emotionally regulated. So this is what I want you to practice for this. Of course, meditation and self-reflection. I want you to focus on one clear goal, one clear intention, one aim, one vision, one mission, one purpose, and I want you to focus on embodying that. I want you to embody that goal, embody that aim, embody that vision, embody that mission, embody that purpose, embody it, because this is all we really want to have. Would you rather, okay, let's say you wake up in the morning, you're in a yacht, you have a penthouse in whether Miami, Manhattan, wherever you want that penthouse. Great. You have all the things, right? Let's say you have 5 wives or 5 husbands, if that's your thing, like whatever the case may be, right? And you're in quote unquote heaven for the ego, right? You're going to get so sick of it within a week, 2 weeks, a month. And then you're going to end up like the people who went to Paramahansa Yogananda, who were billionaires, who said, I have everything in the world, but I still feel unfulfilled. Yeah, you don't have God. You're not embodying your soul. You're not waking up in the morning doing what you love to do. You're a creator. You're here to create. So don't end up like those people. Why? You can struggle your entire life and get everything in the world that you've always wanted. That's why awakening comes first. Manifestation, the principles of manifestation really come second. Because I want to, instead of just teaching you how to manifest things, I like teaching you how to be fulfilled in the process of manifestation and actually when you get the results. So when you get the money, you're really going to appreciate it instead of just craving more money, right? Stop thinking, strategizing, and start taking inspired action. So just let go of the plan, okay? It's God's plan. Let go of the planning. Let go of all the, oh, okay, if I do this, then this is what's going to happen. And then that's going to cause this to happen. And then this is going to happen. And, ooh, no, none of that is going to happen. Let it go and let God. Know what you want, clear, have a simple vision, simple plan, simple strategy, and just act on that. Have it very simple. Have it simple. Because God takes care of the rest, I promise. Let go of external and focus on embodiment. Act with integrity, humility, and poise, calm, confidence. Be authentic, stay true to yourself. Be and do what you desire. Be and do what you desire. And act from wholeness, fullness, and completion. You need absolutely nothing because you are everything. Your heart chakra, emotive power. Just going to take a sip right here of my drink. Emotive power. This is what allows you to truly embody a state of consciousness, but not just a state of consciousness, an authentic state of consciousness. Sure, I know you want to be the one who's cool, who's accepted, who's loved by everyone. But I promise you that you're going to attract the wrong people in your life. They're going to come in your life, and then you're going to be like, these aren't the people that I want in my life. I'm inauthentic. I'm not really me. And I broke myself to fit into a society of people who also don't know who they are. And so this isn't necessarily just about being able to embody. Opening your heart is being able to embody your soul, because that's where your soul is. It's in your heart. That's where your soul is. Your heart is the first organ in your body. It's the first organ that's developed in your mother's womb. Okay, that's quite literally where your soul resides. And what feeling, embodiment, and love is being able to accept yourself unconditionally, be able to love who you desire to be able to love what you desire to do, let go of everyone else, screw what anyone else thinks about you. No one is going to have the same perception that you have of yourself. People are always going to have a different perception of you created in their own heads, in their own minds. You focus on being you, love you, but make it authentic. Speak your truth. Be who you truly desire to be, not who other people want you to be, so you can fit into this group. Look, I used to be one of those people back in my degenerate days where I used to judge. I used to be cool. I used to do a lot of shit. A lot. I used to sell drugs. Probably didn't know that. And I was accepted. I was validated by the group of people who appreciated that too, who validated me, who accepted me. And the thing is, by the way, I love them still unconditionally. My doors are open. I never there's no point to judge anyone. No one. And when you stop judging everyone, you stop judging yourself. People who judge are the people who are living in self-judgment, right? And so I was in this state, and I feel like if I were to, and I moved to Jersey, right? Like I started a brand new life, but I feel like if I were to remain in that state, I wouldn't have changed, because I wanted that love and validation and approval from people who didn't know me, who didn't want me to be me, but had an idea of me that was created in their heads, and that's all they really wanted. that idea of me. And so I remained in that idea, and I was like, wow, I'm loved for being this person. You know, I might as well just stay here. But and by the way, you can be be weird as shit. Like, be super freaking weird. Because that's if that's not God, I don't know what is. If all of this isn't weird, what the hell is weird? Be weird. Embrace your own unique individuality. Whatever you love, the music you listen to, embody it. The shows you watch, embody it. The art you create, whatever you create, embody it. Even if no one likes it, you love it. And that's the whole point of why you create what you create, because you love that shit. Anyways, let's get into this. So what an imbalanced heart chakra looks like this: destructive criticism and a lack of self-love. Whenever we make a mistake or something, we don't allow ourselves to. What the fuck is wrong with me? This and that. We go into the same cycle. We beat ourselves up, this and that. I used to be in this state. I got it from, how I was raised, right? And so when we're in this state of destructive criticism, and when that's all we know of how to improve, we just freaking destroy ourselves and beat ourselves up. Of course, we have a lack of self-love. We don't give ourselves any grace. We can't be in harmony, right? And so you want to replace that with constructive feedback. You want to be aware and you want to give yourself constructive feedback, but not destructive criticism. Don't beat yourself up. Blame and justification. So again, this is that constant attack and defend. We're blaming other people. We're justifying certain actions. We're justifying certain outcomes because of them and them and them and the government and the economy. And the reason I'm like this is because my parents traumatized me and that trauma. Yeah, until we understand that, of course, everyone has been freaking traumatized. Welcome to the human experience, right? And that's why our souls are here, to grow, expand, and evolve. But when we start just being here now and being whoever we want to be, opening our heart and accepting and loving that, then all of that sort of dissolves. Attachment to ego and outcomes. So we don't necessarily want to be whoever we want to be. We want to be whoever others want us to be in their mind, because they love us and they validate us and they accept us and they approve of us. And the same thing goes with the outcomes. We're just focused on outcomes. So for example, if I wanted to be whoever I want to be, well, what's the outcome of that? I might be rejected. People might disagree with me, so on and so forth. And so it stops so many people, right? That ego and that attachment to outcomes stops so many people from just being and doing whatever they want to do. That would just what it means to unlock your soul and start creating reality from that place. Focus on self-gratification. Instead of focusing on serving others and creating for just the act of creating, understanding that we're devoted to something greater. No, we're focused on ourselves. We just want things for us, only for me, me. Everything's just for me. We're inauthentic. We have suppressed emotions, because if we feel these emotions, we don't know what to do with them. And so we filter these emotions into anger. And then from anger, well, we get angry. So for example, if someone came up to me and that someone maybe called me out for, that someone called me out for something that maybe I did in the past to them that made me actually feel guilty, and it made them feel ashamed. So let's say I made fun of someone, right? Instead of truly feeling that guilt and saying, I'm sorry, I'd get angry. I'd be like, yeah, shut the hell up. Like, you're good, right? And so people are unable to truly feel certain emotions. They filter it to anger and they respond accordingly, through frustration, through anger, because they don't understand there are certain emotions. They're unable to be vulnerable. They're afraid of love and vulnerability and intimacy. They're afraid to say their truth. They're afraid to forgive. They're afraid to say sorry, because they're so attached to an ego. They're so attached to this negative emotion that has created everything else in their life. They haven't been able to truly expand beyond it, right? And by the way, like, all of this obviously is connected to that soul. Like, we're unable to actually embody our soul if we're unable to forgive the people in our past, if we're unable to just let go of shit that no longer serves us. We're inauthentic, suppressed emotions, fear of love, vulnerability, intimacy, and we either have a low self-worth or we're just arrogant. And so this is the sort of two sides of the spectrum, right? We're operating in ego consciousness. We're very arrogant. We're like, yeah, like I'm superior to everyone else. Everyone is inferior to me. Like there is no superiority, inferiority. And same thing goes with the low self worth. Low self worth is I'm inferior and other people are superior, right? They're better than me, so on and so forth. None of that's the case because there is no inferiority, superiority. You are the freaking supreme master of everything that you create and experience in your life. You are the master creator. You are supreme. There is no greater superiority than you, than me, than every single person, because that same potential exists within everyone. When you understand that, we're all manifestations of that one presence power, of that one love, of the one creator. Where's the superiority, inferiority? It's ego BS, right? So the low self-worth and the arrogance really just dissolves when you just dissolve the ego and start unlocking your soul. Balanced. The heart chakra, when it's balanced, we have unconditional self-love and acceptance for ourselves. And then when we have unconditional self-love and acceptance for ourselves, we have that for others naturally. But it starts with the self, right? Creation is an act of devotion to serve God and also to serve other people. This isn't necessarily to say you only create for other people. You create what you want to create in your life, but understand that there are people that you're serving. You're making an impact on this world by just being who you desire to be and doing what you desire to do, regardless of whether you think it's true or not, regardless of whether you're freaking 70 years old and you're like, oh, you know what? It's not my time, Dave. Hey, that's a limiting belief. You're not your age. You're not your gender. You're not anything like that, right? You're able to just be and do whatever you want, like unconditionally, right? So creation, have it as an act of devotion rather than something that is rooted in limitation and rooted in ego. Compassion, genuine empathy to serve, genuine empathy for yourself and for others, right? And what does this really mean? Compassion and genuine empathy isn't, oh, you're a victim. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, right? It's, look, I understand what you're going through, and I want to unlock a greater power within you. I understand your life was hard. I understand your life is hard. I understand you're struggling. I acknowledge it. Now let me lift you up. You want to sympathize with power. You want to sympathize with strength. You want to sympathize with talent, skill, ability. You want to sympathize with a greater part of people, not with the lower part of people, because it's going to keep them stuck in victimhood. And by the way, same thing goes with yourself. Don't keep yourself stuck in victimhood. There's no point. There are two states of consciousness: weak, strength. And the Bible says, let the weak man say, I am strong. It doesn't say, let the weak man identify with weakness for this very reason, right? Compassion and genuine empathy, in my eyes, is understanding, acknowledging someone's POV, whatever they're going through, but lifting them up to great success. Not being attached to that success, it doesn't really matter. It's ultimately up to them, but lifting them up. Forgiving, being able to let go of the past, including being able to forgive yourself, being able to forgive others, whether it be your parents, whether it be teachers, friends, ex relationships, whatever it is. Forgive. Just let it go. Let it go. You're not forgiving people for them. You're forgiving them for your own peace. Detached from ego, outcomes, and self-gratification. You have healthy and supportive relationships. People genuinely like support you, right? Just for being you and doing you. Like they genuinely support you. They don't have an idea of you. And if you don't abide by that idea that they have of you, they just reject you and they're like, well, what the hell? And a lot of people, when they're transforming, being who they desire to be, that's what sort of keeps them blocked. They're like, no, like that doesn't resonate with me anymore. What the hell? You changed. Yeah, like that's the point of life. Change. The point of that is the point of life, for me to evolve. And so if I'm not evolving, then what's happening? Surrendered, openness to receiving. And so you're not really necessarily focused on taking or receiving anything. You're just open. I'm open to freaking millions of dollars coming my way. I'm open to the greatest love to come my way. I'm open to performing at the highest possible level that I can perform. I'm just open to it. I'm not attached to it. I surrender. I surrender that attachment. I'm just open. It's what it means to let go and let God. You're just open. You're open to all the blessings. You're not attached to any of it. You're good with or without it. You're just open to it. Loving intentions for serving others. That's the last thing. When you have loving intentions, understand that you will never do quote unquote wrong, which I don't really believe in doing wrong in the first place because we create everything to grow, expand, and evolve. But you have loving intentions. And when you have loving intentions, you can't go wrong. with loving intentions, and that's where we sort of surrender people pleasing and we start telling people what they, I think, need to hear rather than pleasing them, right? Practice meditation and self reflection. Not a surprise. Love and support yourself unconditionally, no matter what. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to just be and do, right? Like whatever. Allow yourself to just embody and support yourself in the process of embodiment. Love yourself in the process of embodiment. But stay rooted in this. Let go of the ego, let go of outcomes, let go of self gratification. Act to create, act to give. Remember, devotion, right? It's for something greater than the ego, to give and to serve. Embody, be, and do what you truly desire, not what others want for you. Set and honor healthy boundaries with yourself and others. This is very important because if people are stomping all over you, my friend, you're not in control of your reality. And so the boundaries, this is what it means to protect your awareness. This is what it means to protect God, protecting your attention, protecting your energy. It's very important, very important. Set healthy boundaries. Forgive and let go of resentment, self and others, right? Observe, give yourself constructive feedback as you observe, well, or after you observe, but never give yourself destructive criticism. Never shame yourself. Never guilt trip yourself. Never judge yourself, because to do so is to just operate an illusion, because you're not that. So it's just to operate an illusion. Constructive feedback means we did our best, or maybe, you know what, we can try again and we can do it again. Not necessarily try. I don't want you to say try. I got this. I know. I can, I will, I am. These are the words we want to use. Throat chakra, faith power. This is truth, conviction, certainty in your expression, whether that be speaking, whether that be creating, whatever it is, because you're essentially going to be guided by a higher power when you just surrender, when you have faith, when you have conviction, when you have certainty, when you have this sense of knowingness within you. When this is imbalanced, we have a closed heart and we also have a negative attitude. We people please, we self sacrifice, we have a low self worth, or we're arrogant. So, a lot of this, it's very similar to the heart chakra. We're either domineering or overpowering because, again, we have a closed heart. So, understand that because we have a closed heart, because we're not going to have an open throat and a closed heart. If the heart is open, the throat is closed, the third eye is closed, not necessarily closed, but imbalanced, right? And then we're not connected to source. And so the heart is honestly the key, because again, let's go back up here really quickly. The heart is the key. When we're starting to operate from the heart, now the action taking becomes soul focused. It's not rooted in the ego anymore. It's rooted in soul. It's rooted in something greater than you. Okay. So, and that's why the heart is so important, because if we don't unlock that heart, it's everything else is going to be closed. And you hear about these people, right? Like, let's just say my third eye is open and they have a closed heart. They're like jackasses. Like they're like, oh, I have this spiritual wisdom, I know the laws of the universe, but really they're just freaking jackasses. Like, they're mean to other people, it's just jackass. Like, you're not that. Anyways, no judgment. You're dishonest, you're inauthentic, you're deceiving, you have an inability to communicate clearly. There's fear, there's doubt, there's worry, there's uncertainty. You're overly emotional and also reactive, and you have suppressed truth and wisdom. And this is all from the throat. If you don't allow yourself to just open your heart, this is all a result of not loving intentions, of the intention to take, or the intention to serve the ego, the intention to serve the self, the intention to, be gratified, rather than the intention to just give, to just serve, to devote, right? And to just create, to be and do whatever the hell I want to be and do unconditionally. Because with a closed heart, you're not allowed to do that with a closed heart. And so you have a negative attitude and everything else, right? Now, when it's balanced, we are calm, we are confident, we have an authentic expression, we have conviction when we speak. And not only that, there's a higher power that's speaking. It's like my soul is speaking through me right now. I don't know what I'm going to say in the next minute. Well, I have an idea because I have a mind map in front of me, but you know what I mean, right? At the end of the day, you're just confident, calm because you're secure. You're not focused on how you look. You're not focused on how you're acting or how you're expressing. You're not focused on you. There is no self to be focused on. You're one with creation. And this is what it means to embody that creation. This is what it means to really trust. It's that security and safety that you're looking for. It's not in whatever you think it's in. It's here now. Your safety and security exists right here, right now, within you when you unlock radical self-love and self-acceptance and you open your heart. Active attention, listening, and presence. You're honest and you're open without fear. You're inspired to create. So you have inspired creative expression. And people sense this energy, like you're passionate, right? There's inspiration that's taking over. And when you are inspired, you are in spirit. You have embodied conviction. So you're not focused on anything else other than embodying the state of being and doing whatever you want, embodying the state of having whatever it is. Practice meditation and self-reflection. Detach from right and wrong. Detach from right and wrong, because this right here is really going to help you express your truth. When you understand that all beliefs are really half truths, there are no truths. There's one truth, and that's awareness. Everything else is just a belief, and whatever is a belief is not truth. And so truth is life. And now life gets expressed infinitely, right? But what is true about the expressions of life? All of it's really true, if you want to say that. It's either all of it or none of it. It's either all of it or none of it. So express your truth. Understand, this is my truth. I want to express it because that's the only way you're going to learn, even if your truth is quote unquote wrong, which also doesn't exist. Because if your truth is quote unquote wrong, well, all you're going to do is learn and evolve. And so really, you're just learning and evolving. And so let's just say your truth is fuck them. That's your truth. You're just fuck them. That's your truth. Allow yourself to express that truth. Totally fine. Because that's how you're going to learn. But if you suppress that truth, well, you're never going to learn because it's suppressed. You're never going to be aware. So there's going to be something that exists, right? And you're not going to understand and actually evolve because you're unaware, because you haven't expressed your truth, whatever your truth is. Detach from external validation. Speak with purpose to serve and intentionality. So speak with intention, communicate and express with confidence, warmth, and conviction, embody honesty, integrity, and be transparent. This is what it means to really be authentic. And when you're authentic, you're embodied fully, right? So you have the heart chakra and you have truth. You're embodying truth. You have faith. We have the third eye, thought power. Okay. This is creative flow and intuitive insights. When you have surrendered the now, when you are right here, right now, in the act of creating whatever you want to create, there's something that takes over your thinking. There's something that keeps you present. There's just something that guides you. You don't even know, like, where is this guidance coming from? Holy crap. Like at a certain point, you're like, I wish I could do this if I really tried. The whole point is stop trying. Because there's a greater power that takes over when you stop trying. But when you just embody conviction and certainty, imbalanced, you're closed-minded and ignorant to possibilities and potential. So you're like, no. The only way is this way because I got a plan. And my plan says things are going to happen like this and this and this and this and this and this. And then things are going to happen like that. And then it's going to happen like this. Yeah, good luck with that plan. You're ignorant to the possibilities and potentials. Oh, no. This is my specific person right here. No, my door's closed to everyone else. All right, sure. No, I want that home. No, I want that. No, this is the right way. Yeah, sure. Right. You're closed-minded and ignorant to the infinite potential of possibilities that are truly for you. And you're not surrendered to the now and let go of whatever you think is for you. Let go of the ego's personal agenda. You're out of the present and you're stuck in the mind, right? Constantly overthinking past, future, anxiety, worry, doubt, fear of unknown. And you're going to see that the dots are really connected to these lower two energy centers because, as I said, you're either when these are imbalanced, it means you're operating from the lower two. It means we're just in ego consciousness, and that's just about it. But when these are balanced, something else takes over. Anxiety, worry, doubt, fear of unknown. We're overthinking outcomes. What will happen? When will it happen? How will it happen? All outcome oriented, all taking oriented, all about me, me, me. We are rationalizing obsessively, and because we're rationalizing obsessively, we're perfectionists. We're like, no, 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 things have to be like this. And then when we make a mistake, we beat ourselves up, so on and so forth, right? And we're attached to ego-driven ideas. So we're attached to this idea of success that only the ego would love. Balanced, we're open-minded, and we have an expanded awareness. We're very open-minded. We're open up to possibilities. We have an expanded awareness right here, right now. We have this inner peace. We have stillness. We have presence that we're embodying. We have spiritual insight, and we have a clear vision. We have strong intuition. There's strong inner guidance, mental clarity, and deep focus. Deep focus on the act of creating. There's nothing else I'm focused on other than this lesson. I'm not focused on who is commenting. I'm not focused on myself. I'm not focused on what's happening in the world. I'm focused on the act that I'm doing right now, which is this lesson. I'm focused on who thinks what about this lesson. None of it, right? And this is what it means to really, again, have this thought power take over, have guidance really take over when you stop thinking about everything else other than the act. And this is deep focus. You're one with creation. You're one with a creative act. By the way, if you're an athlete, you just hit the freaking gold mine. Or if you're an actor, if you're an athlete, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who like relies on performing deeply, like this is the gold mine right here that I'm telling you guys. Practice meditation and self-reflection. Surrender to the present act. This is the flow state, right? Well, the flow state is really that crown, and in my eyes, the way that I like to see it. Trust God and trust your intuition. Act from stillness and relaxation. Do not act from excitement, because we have a dysregulated nervous system when we act from excitement. When we act, and trust me, I've done it plenty of times, and that calm, serene stillness, relaxation, poise, right? Peace and power. When we act from this place, we just flow. We flow. The key is regulation. Open yourself up to infinite possibilities, whatever. I'm not attached. Let go of what, when, how. Allow creation to not be perfect. And this is probably the most important. Allow it to not be perfect. All right, something happens mid-act, whatever. Screw it. My phone rang, right? Did everyone leave? No. If everyone left, I'm great. I'm having a great time doing this lesson. And so allow creation to not be perfect. Yeah, something's going to happen, whatever. And that's totally fine. Doesn't matter. Crown chakra. And then when you allow things to not be perfect, you unlock perfection, which is the other paradox. Superconscious power, which is also transcendence power. This is just oneness and transcendence. So this is when time and space no longer exists, and you're just really deep, either listening or creating or something. You're deep in an act, very, very present. But time doesn't exist here. Like 2 hours is like 10 minutes. And I'm sure that you've experienced this state before. And by the way, again, we're talking about creation here, right? Because the chakras are freaking deep. They're deep, but I'm only giving you stuff that I think is the most helpful for each chakra. I'm not going to give you how to meditate on them or this and that. I'm telling you like the natural way to align all of your energy centers. But the times when you are in deep flow state, right? This is the time where your crown is active. Your crown is balanced. You are essentially connected to the creator, and the creator is flowing through you. Imbalanced. It's imbalanced when we're identified with ego and when we're identified with world. And so division, separation, superiority, inferiority, so on and so forth. We are not connected to this power right here. When we experience a sort of spiritual apathy and we have disinterest in the creator, right? We don't really care about spiritual principles because, again, we're operating from ego. And for the most part, people who are operating from ego, they don't care. They're not interested in God. They're not interested in the creator. They're not faith driven, right? Confused, overwhelmed. What, when, how, why do I exist? Why is this? Oh my God, what will happen? How will it happen? When will it happen? Just confusion, overwhelmed, feeling lost, frustrated, disconnected, and directionless. We have cynicism, we have skepticism, we have disbelief in a higher power because we're so focused on doing what we think is right. And we're operating in ego-driven consciousness, and we experience this sort of self-centeredness in everything. Balanced. We're identified with the creator and the observer. So we're not identified with our beliefs. We're not identified with this separate entity who is superior or inferior to everyone else. No, we're identified with the observer, which is pure awareness, which is the essence of your being, and the infinite creator that is a master. And if you consider yourself to be less than a master, you're operating an illusion. So this is our one and only identity. I am. I am is your one and only identity. It's the identity of everything. And I am as the observer. I am as the creator. We have mastery over instruments, the mind and the body, because we are completely detached from the mind and body. We're able to detach and we're able to direct wherever we want to because we're very present. We operate in unity and oneness. We have spiritual wisdom, and we're enlightened per se. We have a life of deep purpose and deep meaning when the crown chakra is balanced. We integrate the spiritual and material life. And so it's not everything is spiritual and then we completely neglect the physical. I don't believe in that personally. Deep spiritual connection and universal awareness. And we have inner peace, tranquility, and acceptance. And when we have all of this, because we know like this is God's taking over, we're in deep flow. And this is something you actively think about. This is something that actually takes place on a subconscious level because the superconscious is impressing the subconscious. You see, there's the conscious mind that sort of like gets in the way. Let me give you guys this sauce really quick, because why not? Because for everyone who's still in here, I'm going to give you guys some nice sauce. So we have the superconscious, and then we have the conscious, and then we have the subconscious. And now I would pull up the brainwave states right in front of me here, but then I'm going to freaking do another hour lesson. So I'm not going to do that. But essentially there is gamma, and then there is beta, alpha, theta. Why? I don't know why these are all very fast. My fault. Let me just erase. So this is actually supposed to be like this. Gamma's super fast. Beta's fast. Alpha's slower. Theta's even slower. And then delta is like the slowest. Okay, so this right here, gamma, this is the superconscious state, okay? Beta right here, this is your rational thinking mind. This right here is where most people are living in every single day in their mind, constantly thinking from conditions, from the past, from the about the future. So they're never here now. When you're here now, you're immediately more relaxed. You immediately drop into the alpha theta brainwave state. And then guess what happens when you drop into the alpha theta state? You reach a superconscious state, which is the gamma. And guess what? This right here, the conscious mind, is the beta. The gamma is the superconscious state. And the alpha and the delta is where your subconscious mind gets reprogrammed. But not only that, the subconscious mind gets impressed. And so when you do what I'm telling you right here, when you surrender to the now and just allow things to happen, there is this gamma that takes over. There is no more this right here. Consider this. You see how it's like quick, but not as quick as the gamma? Because the gamma is instant. The gamma is inner guidance. The gamma is intuition. The gamma is God. This right here, this is just thinking. This is just thinking. And when you're thinking, you don't get this inner guidance because you're thinking, right? And the thinking is past, future, and it's rooted in conditions and ego. But when you let go of thinking, this is unlocked right here, gamma state. And that impresses the subconscious mind. And that's exactly how you operated when you were a child. But when you got indoctrinated into belief systems, you started thinking, rationalizing, blah, 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 this and that, right? Anyways, I just wanted to share that because I feel like it's like a cool realization. Practice meditation and self-reflection. Identify with the observer of the mind and the body. Identify with the creator of the mind and the body. So you're the mind and the body are instruments, and there is only unity, right? So it's not necessarily like you're separate or anything. However, understand that you're able to detach because guess what? The body, well, what do you think is going to happen when the body's no longer here and the body disintegrates, right? So you are the awareness of the body. You are the creator of the body. Anything that you can be aware of is not you because you are the awareness. I'll say it again. Anything that you can be aware of is not you because you are the awareness that is aware of that. And now try being aware of awareness. That's the real you. Open yourself up to God. Embody the truth above all else. Your truth, the truth. Let go of ego consciousness. Speak with source, God, creator. Just talk to God. Speak with God. Speak with this higher mind. Be present, right? I'm going to have this mind map available for everyone. I'm going to put a link in the description when this is done. But for the most part, this is what the chakra system is. And this is how we actually start creating reality and allow the creator to flow through us, allow the creator to actually be able to create reality and manifest through our vessel. And it's pretty deep. I don't know what, you guys were expecting, but I'm always pretty deep when it comes up to my teachings because I think that these are all very, very, very important to understand. And this is really, in my eyes, what true conscious manifestation is all about. I'm not really here to tell you to manifest blah, 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 this, and this. Rather, I'm here to tell you to manifest heaven on earth because I think when you manifest heaven on earth, there's nothing else that you could possibly want. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing else that you could possibly want other than to manifest heaven on earth. You could want to manifest all of the other things in this world, but if you're not in heaven, what's the point? If you think that that thing is going to bring you heaven and you're not already in heaven, allowing that heaven to be expressed through you, what's the point, right? What's the point? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll do like a question. Anyone got a question right now? Anyone got any questions? Thank you guys for your acknowledgments. I really appreciate it. Also, again, I'm working on Initiation 2.0, and it's going to be, if you love this, Initiation 2.0 is going to completely transform your life because these teachings, it's not necessarily just about learning all of this. It's more so about being able to integrate all of this wisdom in your life and being able to awaken to these truths and being able to genuinely love creating reality, not from a place of fight or flight, not from survival, not from ego, but from your soul. And when you unlock your soul, you are connected to the almighty I am because when you're the I am is the seat of your soul. Okay. But the ego is sort of that thing that separates us from everything else because we want something that we've never gotten when we were children, or something that love, approval, acceptance, so on and so forth. That's what most people crave. But when you give that to yourself and when you understand that God loves you unconditionally, then, this greater power is unlocked for sure. Does that the energy flow top to bottom or bottom to top? Both. So energy flows top to bottom, bottom to top. Energy is always flowing through you. Always. I wouldn't pay too much attention to how the direction and everything. I'd pay attention to really the integration of everything rather than the specifics of. It's like, for example, even if I were to answer the question, and obviously I'm just saying this just to have people come to certain realizations. If I were to answer the question as how, what will that do within us? What will that allow us to sort of realize from there? Right. And that's why these teachings about the chakras, again, it's a whole, it's a whole rabbit hole. Like, these go deep. These are ancient teachings. And you're likely not going to find the way that I express this anywhere else. I truly don't believe, because I sort of connected the dots in my own way. This is original thinking, original thought. So I don't really think you're going to find this anywhere else. But again, even me teaching you guys about the law of attraction and how like attracts like, it's very interesting. Like, I'd love to know, but the key really is to be the energy I want to attract in my life, right? So I can know everything of how attraction works. If I'm unable to be the energy I want to attract, then what's the reason for learning that, right? So the mind will always look for reason, why. But the truth is very simple. Truth is very simple. Truth is not complex, I promise. The ego craves complexity. And this is also going to be, if you guys want to watch the replay, this is going to be available too. So on my YouTube channel. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. I'm going to send you guys an email. I'm doing a webinar, okay, in like 2 weeks. I'm doing a live webinar in 2 weeks. So if you love this, you're definitely going to love the webinar. And if you're already subscribed to my email list, you're going to be getting access to that too. But other than that, guys, I mean, I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you guys for being here and for staying, all the way until then. And please, 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 don't just take this and say, great, I learned something new today. When we truly devote ourselves to these teachings, transformation occurs. Like, miracles unfold in our life. When we let go of wanting miracles to unfold, miracles will unfold. When we stay true to our word, when we stay true to ourselves, so on and so forth, miracles will unfold, because that's naturally what the creator wants for you. The creator wants you to experience miracles in your life. And the creator wants you to create your reality in the way that the creator created you, because you are created in the image and likeness of God to create in the image and likeness of God. Love, 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 love. Have an amazing rest of the day and have an amazing weekend, guys. I am. Take care.